Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers, including Peter Berryman, John Robertson, Brandon Trano, and IndyCar World Champion Alex Palou. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to beautiful Sebring, Florida, here for another round of the iGPFun Formula 3 series presented by 3D Rapid. I'm Austin. I'm joined by Andy Thompson, and in the production booth we have Mark Tranter, and you're here live watching Apex Racing TV.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Austin. And yeah, round 10 of the iGPFun here at Sebring International Raceway. Should be a very good round. Just been watching the drivers going around in the practice, and it seems an exceptionally fast track. When I first saw this on the calendar, Austin, I thought the undulating and the way the track is, that the cars would struggle a little bit, but it certainly doesn't seem that way, with the cars pretty much maxing out 6th gear around this track.
Yeah, Sebring, Florida, what can I say about this track except for just a few words? Respect the bumps. This is a very bumpy track, and you know, single seaters are not usually a fan of bumpy tracks. I know the Formula 3.5 and the other fast cars, they usually do not step foot into here. The Indy cars actually use this place as a street circuit testing ground, actually. So if they want to see on how their street setup shocks, they would head over to here because it kind of replicates the bumpiness of a street circuit. In the Formula 3 series, these F3 cars, they do race on a lot of street circuits, so I'm not surprised that they handle pretty well around this track. But I have seen a few people tweaking the setup just a little bit because it's so easy to bottom out a car heading into a corner, getting onto a curb, and it's very easy just to send that thing around. And you know, these races, you got a lot of fuel in the car, it's going to be making that car squat a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, the curbs on here in Sebring are not probably as savage as some of the other tracks that you could visit, but they're certainly going to be entertaining, certainly coming down into the hairpin. It's going to be a tight corner coming from 6th gear all the way down to 2nd, maybe 3rd, going around that corner, but a lot of speed trying to scrub off coming down to that hairpin. So if you get that braking marker wrong, then it could be curtains for you, as well as coming around sort of the Sunset Bend, you know, a notoriously fast right-hand corner. And I was watching these guys go around it earlier on, literally in 6th gear, little tiny lift, but then getting right back on the power. So if you have an incident around that Sunset, I don't think there's anything you could do to save the car wall on the outside is certainly going to become inviting and welcome you in on that corner. But it should be a really good track, and I'm really looking forward to the outings here. But certainly looking at the championship standards at the moment, Thiago Marteau currently out front on 343 points, 53 points ahead of second place, his teammate Christopher Herbenu. But then there's a real big battle from second all the way down to sixth place. So Chris Herbenu on 270 and Luca Varani in sixth place on 274. So any one of them from 2 down to 6 could start leapfrogging the guys to try and get them last 2 spots on the podium. But it's going to take an absolute miracle for anybody to get anywhere near Marteau. You know, he's been started 9 rounds this season, got 7 wins out of that 9. He's just been on fire. The last 7 races he has won at a canter by the end of the race.
Yeah, the last races have been absolutely insane for Thiago Marteau. 7 wins in a row. That is a astronomical figure right there. But, you know, qualifying's ending up right now, and Marteau, even if he doesn't qualify up front, he just has that race pace that just makes you just think there's nothing you can stop this guy. And, you know, it's just really cool to see something like this happening, because you're just like, he is under 18 still, and he is so fast, and you're just like, what can he do in the next few years?
It makes you sick, really, when you think, you know, the amount of practice that you probably do yourself, or anybody trying to get these F3 cars to go around the track anywhere near as close as Marteau at the moment. He probably just does it effortlessly as well. You know, really got the balance of this F3 car, and he's certainly been the one to try and beat. I think the best that anybody could do is trying to beat him in a single round, because I don't think anybody can take the championship off him at the moment, unless he crashes out. But even then, he'll still probably be on the top and just close the gap slightly.
Yeah, the grid is all set. We got 44 cars all lined up and ready to go. Here, Christopher Herbeno will be starting up on pole position with Max Bartolota completing near the front row, followed by Thiago Marteau, Pier Francesco Particolo, Adrian Correndo, and Antonio Tellez, Max Chiquino, Rodrigo Duran, Timo Braun, Jerome Lamley, and Giuseppe Faro, and Zoltan Zomotor in 12th place. Behind them is Victor Barris, Adam Towson, Vitessa Monroe, Andrea Becchetti, Lucas Marut, Caleb Patry, Luca Verani, Stuart Miller, Clark Williams, Ryan Beard, Robert Ridgway, and Philip Lucas in 24th. Behind them is Kuchi Aito, Christopher Aimon, Alistair Hay, Nick Carty, Ron Korlak, Massimo De Laurentiis, James Luis, Fabio Viola, Marcelo Kessler, Martin Devine, Patrick Rollins, and Sarah Milfaitova in 36. Behind them is Reed Dennis, Manuel Vargas, Simon Fessy, Noel Richie Robertson, Matthew Gracie, Carolyn Richie Robertson, Robert Drew, and Richard Van Veen at the end of our 44-car grid here at Sebring.
Great to have one of your teammates. I'm not sure we get many female races in the F3, but big look for Sarah Milfetova in 36 for her first race out in the F3 car, so good luck to her.
Yeah, Sarah, new to iRacing as well, but yeah, I believe one of the first, she is the only female on the grid currently, but I believe we might have had a few female drivers in the history of iGPFun, but yeah, very nice to see more girls hopping onto iRacing, as we have 5 red lights, as we are green, and away we go here at Sebring for iGPFun here.
Yeah, great start from Herbenu, and obviously Marteau following him behind his teammate there, coming around, just trying to get that second place, but Marteau managing to keep the second place over Marteau in third place. No real big changes at the moment. Victor Barris has moved down 3 places, and Caleb Patry is moving up the field quite nicely in 14th place, so he's on a bit of a move in this first lap. But obviously with the iGPFun rules, they take it a little bit slower on this first lap to get all the tyres went up, so you don't expect any massive yeets, but saying that, you never know, as they take their first trip down here into the hairpin, a very tight right hand corner, as we see all the cars there taking a dive down the inside, trying to get inside line on the outside, but looking at Luca Varalli at the moment. Looking out front, Thiago Martinu coming under a little pressure from Patricolo in fourth place. Patricolo puts the car down the inside, but not quite getting it done. Marto will have the inside line for the next couple of corners, so should be able to put pay to that move from Patricolo behind him. But a great start there. And Martinu under a little bit of pressure here, but it always seems to be the same from him in the opening lap. Keeps it nice and calm and nice and quiet, just sticks behind the front runners, and then all of a sudden, sort of like a viper, makes his move and just moves up through the field. So at the moment, still in third place. The front two getting a slight little gap over Herbenu and Bartolola, and the 1 second back to Marto in third place. But at the moment, and with the expertise that we know Marto's got in this race, that will be a gap that will be soon closed up, especially coming down this extremely long straight with the slipstream effect that these cars will have.
Yeah, the slipstream coming out of Le Mans down that long back straightaway heading into the sunset hairpin is definitely going to be a spot of big attention. You know, hard onto the brakes you go, and then you swing it around this long right-hander and around a lot of bumps. And as soon as I said that, around goes Caleb Patry, and that's immediately in the driving line off the exit. And everyone's going to have to like back up right there and say, hey, don't take Sunset Bend at full force, because we got a car pointed backwards right there. And that's just shows on how fast something could go wrong right there.
Yeah, definitely. We're watching a fight here between Victor Barras and Marone in 14th place. Barras just getting the outside line. When he hung out to dry a little bit, and then he's getting under pressure there from Brichetti coming through. So just got it hung out the car wide. We've got 3 wide here coming into the hairpin, just sorting themselves out, getting into 2 wide. But we do have Brichetti just going onto the outside with Marone just slightly in front of him in P16. But Marok will have the inside line for the next couple of corners as we move up here to 5th place.
Yeah, Cordero leading out this little 3-car group as we ride on board of the Frenchmen. Looking down low is Antonio Tellez. Tellez has a nose down low, but it has to back off mid-corner. There's a giant bump on that apex, and I think he's actually hit the inside curve as well. You can see the massive amount of loss of speed, but Cordero ahead of Tellez, and that is Rodrigo Duran also on the tail of Antonio Tellez as they head through Le Mans right now, getting a little bit off the track, which is really the racing line here at Sebring. I always love the white lines around Sebring. They're more of a suggestion than the actual limit here, because most of the track limits are grass. And here comes Duran onto the inside of Tellez. And Tellez steps by, takes out one line, heading through Sunset Corner. And this is one of my favorite corners in all of motorsports. It's flat, it's fast, and it's bumpy as heck. And every time you go through there, you have a little bit of fear in the back of your mind. It's like, this could end really badly.
Yeah, definitely. As we see the differences in lines as well. Some people taking it really tight to the wall, other people taking the wide. Oh, a little bit of incident here, Duran.
Oh, that's a soft setup.
With Cordalo there, you know, just clips his back end and puts him out of the race. Terrible bit of driving really coming down there. Treacherous part of the course, that coming out of turn 1, coming down into turn 2 in the tight section of 3, 4, 5. You know, in these cars you do go a lot slower, so coming into them fast and trying to break down, and if you're that close to the car in front decides to brake a little bit earlier, then that's the effect that we saw on screen then of what can be caused by the difference in braking areas between the 2 cars. But currently watching the battle for out front, Herbenu in first place under a lot of pressure at the moment from Barcelona, but he does have Marteau right behind his teammates as well. So these 3 slightly pulling away from Patricolo, who was putting Marteau under a little bit of pressure at the start of the race, but a little bit of a gap starting to appear now between these 3, and these 2 teammates can work really well together to try and drop Bartolola into this race. But at the moment he is sticking himself there in the 2nd place in between the 2 Delta Sport teams.
Yeah, I can see Herbeno leading out this group of the front four. Big gap behind him as down to the inside goes Bartolota. Martel followed him for a little bit. Bartolota defending onto the inside. Marteau getting into the draft to his teammate, going out wide. And he's going to try to hold that speed around the outside, but he's got a little bit of room to work for. But now he's got alongside of Bartolota. Bartolota sunk on the outside. Marteau onto the inside. Marteau's got the draft of his teammate ahead to carry him down the front straight. Now around the outside goes Max Bartolota, heading through turn one and stays in second place. Beautiful defense by Max right there. Knew that the outside line would work out better for him heading into turn one, and it certainly worked right there. And, you know, it's 2 Delta Sport cars versus 2 3D-Wrap Squadra Corsa cars.
Yeah, definitely. And Patrick Olo, we just see the effect of that slipstream coming down the Omen straight there. Was over a second behind and now putting a lot of pressure again on Martel. Looking down the inside, just pressurising Martel to go out a little bit wide in that corner. But the obviously F3 driver championship leader at the moment not buckling under the pressure of Patrick Olo. But we certainly watched the fight here for 14th place with Luca Varani fighting hard with Brichetti just behind him. Maruk, Lucas not far out of the picture, so these 4 car battling quite hard.
That's a little bit tight. Luca defending hard down to the inside from Andrea Brichetti. And look at Brichetti. He's got Lucas and Maruk all behind him. Maruk's on the inside, Maruk's on the outside, all over the gearbox. And oh, we got a little bit of caution up ahead. Vincent Moro, Victor Barris, 3-car incident up at the front. There's they were all 3 of them were up in the top 10.
And that will promote these guys up further up the grid at the moment, but a great battle going to ensue with Varani just currently out in front. The lead car you can see in the picture at the moment with Brichetti just behind him. Maruk in 13th from Luca, who are currently on board with. But we see a good line of this slipstream effect here coming down the Omen straight.
Oh, look at Marteau having to just dance on the straight as he's being bump draft. This ain't the other race happening in Florida right now. We're in bump drafted here at Sebring. Into turn one, Max Bartolota on the attack, gets into the grasses a little bit. Marteau onto the attack, trying to go down to the inside. Bartolota defending onto the inside now. And Marteau trying to look around the outside, heading into turns 2, 3, and 4 right there. Goes a little bit wide, then down to the inside. Here comes Pier Francesco Particolo. Looking for a little bit of attack, but here they go, continuing once more.
Yeah, he just literally opened the door there for Patricolo to make a move on him and slam the door shut. So lucky not to cause an incident there was those 2 drivers, but having to keep it clean, but having to fight that way. Patricolo showing his intent and not letting Marteau have all his own ways as the 3D Rapid team who currently in 2nd and 4th at the moment. We're probably watching the big battle on screen for 25th between Laurentiis, Klessler, Divine, all on screen. So the 5 cars, the car in the back there had to back out or else would have had its nose chopped off.
I think that was Sarah Molfaitova. She's that is Sarah Molfaitova onto the back of Rollins. Molfaitova making it 3 wide down to the inside. Molfaitova with a wonderful move. A nice block pass right there by Sarah Molfaitova.
Lucky Rollins nearly went into the back of Sarah there to but a great passing move there.
Look at Richard Van Veen down to the inside. Richard Van Veen starting for the back of the grid, up 15 spots. And now Patrick Rollins and Richard Van Veen going side by side. As they go side by side, heading in through the double left-hander and heading into Le Mans, down to the inside. Patrick Rollins and Richard Van Veen. Richard Van Veen getting forced out wide. That's going to be a and they make contact behind him. Richard Van Veen nowhere to go. Had to serve a slowdown. Had to avoid the cars. He's actually turning around, driving backwards with something happening in the background. But Patrick Rollins, elbows out, unfortunately, didn't know where Richard Van Veen was going to go. And, oh my gosh, very exciting racing happening throughout the field right there.
We're watching Laurentiis there, but back up the field here. 2P16 with Stuart Mill just trying to defend his place of Korolak there. Korolak just going down the inside, getting the move, but Mill will have the inside line for turn 3 and 4. So trying to secure that spot, but I think the Korolak might have the job done going around the outside. Great passing move there by Korolak. So we're
fantastic.
Here
this is from Zoltan Zomotor. behind, I believe that. Oh, no! Oh, this is what happened at the top 10 to the 3 cars that were in the top 10 that got into that incident, and around they go.
That was a carnage that we saw earlier on where we were watching Luca Verani, the battle that he was having there. We saw them cars just along the track, luckily not on the racing line, because a lot of these corners are blind really when you come around them, and if you've got cars just stuck on the racing line, it can cause incidents like we see. But we're watching Martel here having a real good battle with Patricolo for that 3rd place, and literally getting it all over the park, getting his back end really squirrely. Patricolo doing an excellent job of putting him under so much pressure. Great move down the inside there from Bill Francesco. And yeah, getting the job done, but obviously Martel will be hot to trot to get that job back.
A fantastic move by Pierre Francesco right there as we look at the drivers getting just into a massive line, looking down to the inside of Stuart Millen. That is Ryan Berry. Ryan Berry getting onto the binders just a little bit harder than Millen. Millen going all the way to the outside. Did that car get airborne? I swear that car got airborne.
So bumpy on the outside of that sunset bend. You see the cars going down the inside and taking a bit of a smoother, not getting bounced around. But if you take that outside line, that's where you're going to be bounced around. So Stuart Mill living on the edge there, going around the outside, managing to get it done. But certainly got a drag race now with Berry on. Stuart Mill get the inside, managing to get the move and getting slightly ahead of Berry. But Berry's trying his best to keep Stuart Mill entertained here for P17.
Yeah, Berry all over that rear end, was looking on to the outside right there, but also don't count out Robert Ridgway as they both go on to the outside. And Miller defending onto the inside of Robert Ridgway. Oh, I thought he was going to go 3 wide for a little bit into the hotel hairpin, but around goes Berry. And I think Ridgway had to take a little avoiding action because he changed lines quickly at the end, and he got loose as well, 2 cars around.
Definitely one of the things coming down to that hairpin, if you try to overextend your braking zone, you can do exactly that and shoot off the end, as we saw Berry do there. And then obviously the car behind Ridgway just almost fixated on the car in front and following him in and slightly getting it wrong. So those two...
I know he's slow. Yeah. Ido's slow. Mofaitova goes down to the inside. Mofaitova stuck onto the outside. I think Ido has an issue.
He's been extremely slow.
Yeah, he just let 4 cars pass, and I'm not sure what's on with Kuchi Ido's 146 right there. The car looks fine, but I think it might be a hardware issue because I don't see any damage on that car to my knowledge, but I can see some damage up ahead. There's a car off. That was James Luis. And Robert Ridgway, side by side, heading into Le Mans. And is that curb, and bam! Just go on that curb and around you go. That is a massively unfortunate incident right there for those 2 drivers.
Definitely, as we join the battle again with Stuart Mill in 17, certainly in the heart of the action. Just got different cars with him now at the moment, with Williams just behind him and Neymon in 19th place. So another 2 cars have come to challenge the Scotsman for that P17, managing to hold off.
Martel's down to 8th.
He must have had a listen.
Well, this is what happened to QTR Marteau, the Delta Sport driver on the back of Pierre Francesco Particolo, looking for the outside, heading into the hotel hairpin. Oh, that's tight. I'm gonna have to say there was no really room left for him between him and Pierre Francesco Particolo and the lawn.
It was getting nice and thin down there, but unfortunately these cars are quite wide, getting pushed out from the wide. But I'll certainly put the cat among the pigeons, having Martel in 8th to see what he can do now in this race. Still got plenty of laps to make his positions back up, but currently 10 seconds off the leader. Now if we go off previous races where he's managed to get a gap of 10 seconds over the rest of the field, I wonder if he'll be able to pull that back by the end of the race. But certainly if he ends up fighting again like he has been this whole race with Patricolo, then that might be a problem. Looking at Talsma here with Varani just behind him, managing to making a move down here in Sunset. Varani will have the outside, Talsma will have the inside line into Sunset Bend, and it's going to be a tight one. Luca trying to get the speed around the outside. They're going to be 2 by 2 wide here coming down the start finish straight into turn 1. Varani got the inside line here for turn 1, but just needs to open up a little bit to carry the speed around to try and push Talsma behind him, but has managed to get it done. So that's a great passing move there, which all started before Sunset Bend.
Oh, but he's chopped off the exit just a little bit. Talsma had an opportunity to look down to the inside, but Adam Talsma and Luca Ferrari, both these drivers have been racing around each other for a long time here in the iGPFun-F3 League, as we see Ron Korlak and Alistair Hay going side by side. Hay down to the inside as Clark Williams around, just a little bit tap off the exit right there as Stuart Millen swinging around the outside, and then off the exit, a little bit of a tap to the front wing, and he falls back behind Amon in 19th.
So Stuart Milne obviously heading out this group still with the 2 behind him, just lining up to fight him as he takes a deep lead. Amon down into the corner, extremely wide in there, might get a good run out here, and will certainly be putting Stuart Milne under pressure coming around these guys. Just Williams there, just basically putting his nose up the inside and just putting off Amon a little bit.
Williams is going for not one, he's going for 2 into the Andretti, and absolutely Clark Williams not going to let one incident show him off right there, trying to hold it down to the inside. Now around the outside, look at Stuart Millen taking this corner, trying to line it up that breaking point. But Clark Williams down to the inside, but he left enough room for Stuart Millen to open up that exit right there. Side by side, they're going to go. And if I was Christopher Amon, just behind them, I'd be looking in some way to switch back on these two, because they're going to be side by side through Le Mans. They're going to be really slow down this back straight. That's what Amon's doing right there. Look how wide Stuart Millen. We got Clark Williams going really slow. Clark Williams is pretty much a Formula 4 car, and then down to the inside. Millen knows that Amon's catching. He is giving Williams a draft, and look at that. We're going 3 wide down the back straightaway, heading into Sunset Bend.
There's about 2 by 2 wide here. Amon just trying to get the speed going around the outside. You can see how bouncy it is, and it's kind of like you're saying, almost back end getting airborne there off the outside lines, which certainly seems to be that mid-line line going through Sunset Bend is the line to take through there. The cars are a lot more planted to be able to carry the speed, but you see Amon here just really pressurising, going extremely wide. Or just manages to save it and bring it back on, but did hit that kitty litter at the back and lost the place there in there, but
actually at the front, Giacchino. Max Giacchino is off.
That's coming down into the hairpin again, isn't it? So a lot of incidences happening down there. So this just to be an extended.
I think this is a solo. I think this is all on him. Ooh, yep, just too much onto the brakes. Almost hit the cars ahead. Locked up the brakes, went spinning around, and wiped the sweat off your brow and getting back on going.
Just went far too deep into that hairpin. You know, had to put a little bit more brake pressure than he's used to, which locked up the car. And as soon as you lock these F3 cars up, the tyres start locking. That's it. You're literally a sit and duck into whatever the car wants to do.
Jerome Lampley holding off Pier Francesco Particolo, being the well, I'm gonna say the lone soldier for the year 1 team up there, as well, he was fighting in between the Delta Sport and 3D Rap Squadra Corsa drivers in 2nd and 3rd, but Jerome Lamley appeared for Francesco Particolo in the fight for 3rd and 4th, and he's all over the gearbox looking for the outside line. Now side by side across the front stretch they go, heading into turn 1. Look at that wide line that Lamley is setting up for right here, swinging around the outside, and blocked off the exit by Pier Francesco Particolo. Side by side they go, heading into turn 2. Particolo down to the inside and able to hold off for P3. No room left right there for Pier Francesco.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? You can go out wide to set up a real fast exit. The car in front of you can quite easily block you off, and you know, you really heavily trying to break it coming down here.
Slide job pass, but Lamley switchback move, looks for the outside in the brakes, and didn't get the advantage on the switchback right there for Pier Francesco. Very under pressure right now. Here's Lamley side by side with Pier Francesco. Pier Francesco coming across the track, squeezing Lamley right there, but down to the inside into Andretti. Jerome Lamley gets P3.
Yeah, obviously Patricolo just trying to shut the door there on Lamley, but Lamley forcing his way up there and put his nose in there, and an exceptional pass there to manage to keep that fair play. So these two battling out quite hard at the moment is Lamley and Patricolo, and what it's doing is letting the front two get even more away, but it's great for us in the commentary booth watching these two go at it tooth and nail. So I'd expect here Patricolo to get the move done on Lamley coming down the Omen straight with the thing. So we'll see him just dive on the inside. I wonder if Lamley's going to try and cover off. He does move over, but unfortunately he can't move over. So the side by side here coming into Sunset, and I believe this is role reversal.
I think Lamley thought that he was cleared. He could have got it back into the draft and thought about it. Gave a little twitch right there, but Fear Francesco Particola down to the inside, into the draft, gets ahead of Lamley. You see Lamley following right there. Now goes down to the inside. Side by side they go. This fight for third is absolutely bonkers right now. Down to the inside, Jerome Lamley gets back into third place. Fear Francesco is off into the dirt right there. Kicks up a little bit of that kidney litter right there, but he's not able to carry back that position. Through the corner, Lamley gets a little bit loose, and Pierre Francesco is all over the gearbox right now. And Lamley goes around, gets up onto the curve and spun himself, and I think Pierre Francesco might have given the finishing push right there, but that is so unfortunate. And that's Jerome Lamley. You know, he just took too much curve right there. It's so easy to lose the back end once he'd done that. And I think it was already spinning when Pierre Francesco got into him.
Yeah, he certainly was. You know, took that corner a little bit too tight, got up on the curb, and obviously from driving the GT3 cars, I know that if you hit that inside line and get up on the kit, it just spits you out. As we watch a replay here coming around.
He locked up heading into that first part.
Offline.
And I think he was just trying to save himself the time that he just lost right there. But yeah, he didn't even hit. Pierre Francesco didn't even get into him. That was all Jerome Lamley too.
Yeah, completely got offline, was off his normal racing line, but tried to keep the pace on, and unfortunately went out a little bit too wide. And like I said, as soon as you hit that kit litter on that corner coming out into turn 4, it just spits the car off, as we saw there across the track. Always does it here at Sebring, and it has another victim.
Oh, nope, this was a... I think it was a connection thing down the field. It is a connection thing. I saw Thermo Faitola drop down 2 spots so it worked out. It was just a little blip out right there. My heart stopped a little bit.
Martel managed to get up to 5th place at the moment, but not making any inroads into that time. Was 10 seconds behind Herbenu a couple of laps ago, but further down the field, currently 12.5, but we're watching the battle here.
This is tight down to the inside for Ron Korlak. He was sliding that car, trying to keep it out of the side of Lucas right there, but Alistair Hay got a lot of speed. And here comes Alistair Hay around the outside. Oh, he's shooting the moon. Great line heading into turn 1. We'll place your bets. This might end up nasty right there. Hay down to the inside. Around the outside into the dirt goes Korlak. And, well, keeping his position is Philip Lucas. Alistair Hay, oh my gosh, throwing all the punches and not holding any of them right there.
You can just see that happening coming around there, Korlak trying to get around the outside of Alistair Hay. Alistair Hay saying, no, I'm having none of it. I'm on the racing line. I'm not going to give it you, and just push Korlak out. Great run. Oh, big lunge here for Korlak trying to get into the hairpin. Not making it stick. Will lose a little bit of time from his exit speed there. But yeah, Korlak really means business at the moment.
Oh my, Sender Rooney Jerome Lamley. Well, I've seen some dive bombs in my days, but holy crap.
Not quite. Didn't quite manage to make that.
Instant replay of that, please. How far back did he come into that corner?
As we watch on board, so he's quite far back here.
He's about 2 car lengths behind Lucas Maruk. Now he's about a car length, and he just knows that he's going for it.
I'm amazed he managed to keep that.
He made the corner too, which is impressive.
It certainly is, and you've got to admire his tenacity to even try that move. You know, literally 2 cars behind the car in front, and then about 3 cars in behind that. But we're currently on board with Sarah here, one of my fellow commentators, teammates here in 24.
She got really loose right there coming out of Le Mans. The back end really wiggling around, and there is Gucci Ido. Ido was really slow throughout the race. You know why Ido was slow? I think he had a slowdown penalty, as They are side by side with Sarah. Sarah taking that wider line around Sunset Bend. Ido getting ahead, but now Sarah all lined up in that draft, able to carry on in this fight for 24th place. Wonderful showing by Sarah in her first iGPFun race, up 11 spots and doing pretty well.
Yeah, but
just to probably go away before I commentator curse my teammate. Thank you.
Probably,
And ooh, that's tight between Iman and Viola up ahead in 19th. As Iman gets a little bit loose and off the exit, Viola able to swing past. There's Philip Laurentis. Massimo De Laurentis up there, looks down to the inside. Laurentis now on 19th, side by side to the hotel hairpin. They go. Laurentis down to the inside. It's a little bit squirrely off the exit. Viola still right there, and Christoph Amon is in there as well, and Martin Devine is joining the fight.
He seems to be in a lot of battling as Amon here. Doesn't quite win out. He wins out, then loses the position back. So really in a big fight battle is Christoph Amon there, the driver, as we join the battle here for 26 with Ryan Berry just heading out. Max Marcello Kessler there in 27th place. So trying to do the best that they can at the moment. These drivers out on the track.
Ryan Berry behind Sarah Bolfaitova. Barry had that incident near the start of the race, is currently 4 spots down from where they started, trying to recovery drive right now through Le Mans. And oh, that's a lot of grass off the exit.
Basically, if they extended that runoff, you can see in the background there, it looks like they give you that extra.
The runoff is really, the runoff is extended. And then they've extended the runoff off the track as well, with pretty much just how many cars just dip a wheel right there. And I know in other tracks in America, like the exit of the S's at Barber Motorsports Park, there are cars that exit so much they've actually dug a hole throughout a weekend to the point where they flipped a car because one of them hit that hole. Though it's not as bad as a hole in Interlagos right now.
But yeah, we see there that inside line coming into turn one. Doesn't matter how steep you take it, as long as you're on the inside of it. Yeah, the car on the outside will be going a lot faster, but unfortunately with the camber and the nature of where them cars come out, coming out of the exit of turn one, the second car has to slow down for the first car. So you really want to make sure that you're that one on the inside, and the car behind you will have to slow down. Otherwise, we'll probably hit it into the back of you. But looking up here in 5th place, Giuseppe Varro managing to do a great job. Does have Tellers behind him for company at the moment, only 0.8 of a second behind him is Tellers, so we'll close up the gap here coming down the Oldham Straight coming into Sunset. So at the moment a little bit spread out in the morning. Martel managing to get up to 4th, but still that 12.6 seconds behind the leaders. So the front two are really pushing on at the moment, as we see Hervenu managing to get a 2.1 second lead over Bartolola and Fertain. Patricolo is literally next on Martel's target. Had a little bit of a coming together in an instant a couple of laps ago, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But we're looking at Max Giacchino just having a look at Braun coming into turn number 1. Won't be able to get the move done now, but certainly showing his attention is the Italian.
Yeah, Giacchino all over the back of Timo Braun, as I think it was Jerome Lamley in the background getting off the track, coming out of turn 1. As all over the draft, all up in the draft is Giacchino. Giacchino not looking for a move heading into the hotel hairpin. Really waiting for his time for this overtake right now, but very nice showing by both these drivers. Luca Verani behind them, up 10 spots and into 9th right there.
The big moves are shakers. It seems to be 13 is the magic number tonight, about 3 or 4 races are up 13.
Well, those overtakes is 13 overtakes currently, yeah. And you know, it's a 5-way tie with drivers having 13 overtakes right now. Fabio Viola is got it. Martin Devine, Patrick Walliser, Volpaitova. As Giacchino, he's found his opportunity down to the inside, heading into Le Mans corner. One of the fastest corners and trickiest corners on the track. Max Giacchino makes the overtake, but did he do it just a little bit too early? Because now Thibaut Braun is going to be all up in that draft and have an opportunity to fire back.
Yeah, great move there. Really ambitious move coming into them. A couple of corners coming into Le Mans corner is it's quite treacherous. There's really that one fast line there, but Max showing that there's many other lines that you can take through there, and managing to get a very good move over Timo Board in 8th place. So managing to secure that 7th place at the moment. A little bit back is Timo Board there in 8th place, but still hot on his tail. Looking further backfield, we've got Talsma fighting it out with Maruk here, coming down into third. Talsma just pulling out, getting that inside line again. We'll have that inside, as long as he can get the car in front, as he doesn't, unfortunately, and still manages to stay behind Maruk, but certainly showing his intentions is the Canadian of Adam Talsma, currently in 13th position, but plenty of opportunity ahead of him to try and gain that 12th position off Maruk in front of him.
Yeah, look at Maruk swinging around the outside right there to keep it ahead of the La Scuderia driver of Adam Talsma, the Canadian, all over the back of Lucas Maruk, still looking for that move, but if they continue on, he's going to be joined by Philip Lucas behind them, but the two Canadians battling out currently in 12th.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what that car reminds me of. It's a Formula 1 car. Yeah, I know you're going to tell me what it is, but it's probably about an 80s Formula 1 car, that livery on Adam Talsma. That's the one. Lotus, our producer Mark there telling us the Lotus car. Yeah, it just reminds me of that, looking around.
John Phillips special, baby.
It is, yeah.
John Player special, not Phillips. That's the SECA version.
Yeah, that's the nice version, not the cigarette version.
Well, no. Oh, that's Clark Williams in the wall.
That is coming into, I think that's Le Mans, isn't it, again?
No, it's not Le Mans. That is that tight. That's Andretti. Oh, that's the exit of Andretti. That's a weird spot to crash. He's at the inside curve coming out of Andretti. And you usually do not see a car ending up right there. It's actually a exit road to the club circuit pit lane right there in that corner.
It looks like the middle of the car, like there was something in the road that just pushed that back end of the car up.
Yeah, it's called the apex curb.
It was.
That's what he did.
Okay. I saw something different, but
I guess you can see something completely different. But
that's happening there in first place, managing to pull out a 2.9 second lead over Bartolo in second place. We're starting to come up on a few back markers, so as long as they play ball, he should be able to maintain that gap that he currently have. But always seems to be one of the Delta Sport drivers that are at the front, either if it's Martel, he just tags over to his teammate Herbenu, and then Herbenu just sort of takes over. It's a great team to be in. If you're going to be in one of them teams, you're certainly going to be at the front of these fields at the moment. So it's still coming true here at Sebring, with Herbenu managing to get a 2.9 second lead over Bartola in second place, who's currently 7 seconds ahead of Patrick Colo in third place.
Whoa! And around goes Mofaitova. Marcelo Kessler pressuring Mofaitova down to the inside. And Mofaitova goes around in the hairpin. Was there contact right there?
I don't know. I think it might have been the pressure of having the cars behind that Sarah managed just to spin that car going into the hairpin, going in a little bit too deep. So unfortunately, just losing a couple of places, but still doing an excellent job, up 9 places from where she started. Sarah Mofaitova there doing an exceptional job in P27, up 9 places.
And Mark's denying me the satisfaction. Replay.
He knows you're going to want it, Austin, so that's why he's not giving it to you. He's not bound to you or wins.
Thank you, Mark. And here is the replay of Sarah heading into the hotel hairpin. Such a hard breaking point. And here's Marcelo. And nope, Sarah just lost on herself. Yeah, I guess you're right. It was the pressure right there.
It was a nice little neat slide going in. She didn't manage to turn the car around, so although she knew she was spinning, still managed to save it. Keep the car in the right direction on the track's better than spinning it right round. So it was able to just hold the car, let the 3 cars in front of her go through, and managing to pick up. So only lost 3 places in that little spin, so not that far behind them, so still lives to fight another day.
I now know how Tony Stewart feels in the commentary booth.
And one of his team driving.
Yeah.
You're giving us coaching tips,
No, he's just don't crash the car. That's what he literally gave a driver interview to his driver. It's like, hey, I want this thing clean in the shop the next day.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, a couple of battles as we always come to see here on iGPFun, starting to ensue with a couple of drives. You got Philip Lucas on screen currently fighting out with Tasma in front of him for the P13. And
well, that's a cone murderer. What was that? Was that Faro? Faro went really wide right there. A lot of cones went flying. I think they might have gone into the grass or just tipped Sunset Bend really wide off the entry and then really chomped it down. Yeah, Faro is being overtaken by Antonio Tellez. Tellez in the draft. Tellez looks down to the inside right now. Side by side they go. And, oh, yeah, he just goes really wide. I'm surprised those cones didn't get stuck under that car or really affect it.
Super wide line there.
Yeah, it is taking the old hairpin line. There's a paved hairpin on the outside of Sunset Bend that some layouts do use. Now that's not an iRacing, that layout, but you know they wanted the Sunset hairpin to have a little bit more defined hairpin. But here comes Faro. Faro looking down to the inside of Tellez. Faro down into Andretti, and he makes that move stick.
Okay, great move, just sets him up, got a really good exit out of the turn before. Managed to pull alongside the car as Tellez just trying to pay back the favour there, but Faro just closing the door on Tellez. So pretty much going to be the same move again as I would imagine on the last lap, where Tellez, as long as he can stick behind Faro in front of him, will get that incident. You what?
Phil Lucas has had an incident. They were up in 10th, and they just towed back into the pit lane, Philip Lucas.
Sarah's in the pit lane as well, so...
I saw that. I don't want to see it.
Not sure what happened there. I'll see there's Mark trying to frantically find it.
And there's Phil. Oh, just got into the grass and BAM!
Ooh.
Oh, well, there's no getting out of that one right there. 2 wheels off and upside down on the lid. And, ooh, good fight right here. Tellez and Faro. Faro and Tellez side by side. Is that a little bit of wing damage I see on Faro's car, left side?
Can't see anything on the moment.
No, it's just a light. Oh, late move. Oh, the action again. Tellez on Faro. Oh, my gosh. Very.
These two certainly
that's a look.
Very heated.
Very heated, but I'm gonna say one thing. I love it.
Totally. Gotta love the racing that is in this iGPFun. It's all the way down the field as we're currently watching another one on screen with Barry and Rollins there, just tucked up behind him. Not going to be able to get alongside, and Barry tries to cover off that inside move here and move to the back to the outside to get the slingshot around here into turn 1. So manages to stay in front of Rollins for another lap at the moment, does Ryan Barry. But further back we have another fight here with Victor Barras. Great passive move there over Carty, and he's now tracking down the Japanese driver Ioto in front of him, who obviously saw early on had a little bit of speed issue, but certainly seems to have resolved that at the moment and is back on pace. But joining back to this epic battle up the front between Tausma and Maruk. Yeah, Maruk just looking all over the
look off this exit. Alistair Hay really set up that exit right there. Set it up wide to cut back low, and he's getting the speed and the run out the double left-hander leading into Le Mans, though, not helping him out right there. The Scuderia La Scuderia driver Adam Tausma able to stay ahead of Alistair Hay, but hey, he is in that draft and he's looking for this move right now.
we get that so wrong. Just my eyes are going obviously with Tosma and Hay there, but Hay's just trying to get up, gets the slipstream, pulls on the inside, and to make a great move there through the sunset. Tasma just tucks in behind Hay, but tries to cut back on the inside, so it's going to be side by side coming down the first. But Alistair Hay, as long as he can keep that speed going, will have that inside line and will control the exit between himself and Tasma, because Tasma will be right onto the back of Alistair Hay coming out the exit, as we said before. It doesn't matter about the speed difference, that second car will have to slow down unless he travels into the back of the car in front. So Tasma just sticking behind here, Alistair Hay in 13th position, as once again they head down towards the hairpin.
Hay is really diamonding off those corners. He's taking a wider entry and then a very sharper exit to maximize his speed coming out of the corner. And, you know, it's a little things like that just shows the different driving styles of each driver and where they get their advantage going through the corner. Alistair Hay likes to diamond off the corners, where somebody like Marteau likes to take him extremely smoothly and other stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so many different lines you can take around this track, and this is probably one of the tracks that you can get away with, and there's so many different lines that you can take and still keep the speed up around there. So it's one of them. There's a lot of tracks that have that one single racing line around it, but this one certainly has multiple options around different corners that you can take right to your speed. But currently on board with Ioto, with Barris just making a move there, and then with Carty behind him in 24. So Ioto going the wrong way down this field, which is back.
Yeah, Max Giacchino, his teammate of Andrea Brichetti, is in the pit lane, and Brichetti was up there. Giacchino side by side with Tellis. Tellis down to the inside. Tellis up into 6th place. And Giacchino nothing, looking down the inside, as that's a lot of curves being taken by Tellis. Here's the replay is what happened to Andrea Brichetti. Not the teammate, former teammate. As that's Lamley and Lamley. Well, it's reenacting of a Red Bull Porsche Cup car. Instead of the entire other field, that is a good strike on cones.
Yeah, just getting a slight little drafting, thinking he was in an oval circuit rather than on Sebring in a road race. But there's another example of that inside line. That obviously the car behind Kessler a lot quicker than Barris, but Barris closed the door on that speed that Kessler had moving and coming around that first corner, which obviously really affects that second car, because you have to really put on the brakes, slow down, and that's how we're seeing a little bit of a gap start to produce between Barris and Kessler at the moment as they come down to the hairpin. Kessler, nice and tight line on the inside to get that real slingshot out of the corner, but at the moment Kessler not quite managing to close up that gap from where they were over the start finish line. So Victor Barris currently in 21st, closely by Kessler.
All over the tail of Victor Barris, just taking those lines and trying to get even closer. Timo Braun under pressure by Luca Verani up at front. There's a fight for 8th place. As Luca seems to, Luca last lap was actually a little bit slower than Timo Braun. Timo able to stretch his legs and right on board of Luca Verani heading into turn 2. You're gonna see how tight turn 2 actually is with the curves on the outside, and that's what happens if you get onto that curve. The curve raises up, you get into the grass, and then you say sayonara to the car ahead of you as they start pulling away. He lost about 3/10 from that little small mistake right there.
That corner is really inviting. It tries to get you to say, come on, you can accelerate a lot more than you can do. You have to really hold yourself to try and accelerate out of that.
A lot of throttle discipline is needed right there. A lot of throttle discipline.
Not too much wisdom, but Luca Verani just trying to get onto the back of Timo Braun at the moment. He's currently riding on board with Luca Verani with Timo Braun there in 8th place in front of him. Trying to get onto the back of it, but using every inch of the track at the moment to try and get that speed back on. Oh.
Using every drivable piece of the track for Luca Verani.
Plus 10%.
Yeah, plus 10%. Like, I know how much the track on the outside track can get worn down to the point where, you know, he did it again.
Wow, he's pushing it. Absolutely.
Well, the white flag is out for Christopher Herberto, and it's not Thiago Marteau 3 seconds up in the lead. It's Herberto up in the lead all by himself. Then it's Max Bartolota in second place, followed by Pier Francesco Particolo. One flag, white lap, one flag.
Something like that, isn't it?
White flag, one lap to go
lap.
here at Sebring. I'm talking backwards. Yoda I am.
Oh, well, so there's a real big battle at the moment on track between Faro, Tellez, and Giacchino's not far off the back of these two as well. So it's a 3-horse race here for the 5th place. Marteau managing to be well out in front at the moment, trying to close the gap down to Patricolo in 3rd, but I certainly don't think he has time to do it at the moment. So, you know, as bad as it sounds, you know, 4th place, saying that is your worst finishing position of the season, it's something to behold. But yeah, certainly after 7 race wins is coming to an end for Thiago Marteau in this race. But it's I suppose the slight thing is his teammate is the one that's actually going to win this race.
I'm holding myself back to do more Yoda references.
You're just Googling Yoda references so you can get them out there, aren't you? So,
F3 fun GPI.
Oh, don't give up your day job, Austin.
I'm seriously not going to. I love this. Herberto around the outside is going to end the 7-win streak, but it's still going to be a Delta Sport win streak as Christopher Herberto takes the win here at Sebring. Max Bartolota comes home in 2nd place with Pier Francesco Particolo. Comes home in 3rd, side by side, and last lap. Max Giacchino goes down to the inside, heading into the sunset corner. And Antonio Tella stuck onto the outside. Giacchino, can he get 2 spots? It is just a little bit too late right there. Faro takes P5. Giacchino takes 6. Antonio Tellis instead of Ron Verani in 8th and 9th. And Lucas Farouk is in position for 10th place. And Thiago Marteau finishes outside. Oh, big crash at the end. That is Victor Barris at the exit of Le Mans. Hard into the wall. Marcelo Kessler at the right on his tail right there.
Was that one, wasn't it? Me, sir? Wasn't me, sir? Nothing to do with me. As Marcel Keller and...
okay, Jar Jar.
Jar Jar and Yoda, hey?
No, that's just Jar Jar.
Jar Jar. It's, yeah, Victor Barris there. Paying a price, obviously, out in...
Oh, did Roman snipe that from Kessler? No. I think, yeah, Rollins was ahead of Kessler. That Carney was the one that Kessler was ahead of.
Giacchino did manage to snipe Tellez. Obviously, Faro and Tellez were fighting really hard for 5th place. But Giacchino managed to overtake Tellez on the last lap to get that 6th place. And there's only 1/1000th of a second behind Faro for 5th, so super close to getting that last win to get them 2 places back on that last lap with Giacchino. So unfortunate there, but 1/1000th of a second, that's so close. But Christopher Herberto is your race winner here at Sebring. So the Delta Sport dominance continues.
Yeah, Delta Sport is just smiling right now, and everybody over at that team is like, well, even on our, on Marteau's best days, we are still on top. This time, it's Christopher Herberto sitting on top here today as he does a little bit of weaving right there. As our results are coming through right.
We're still waiting for drivers? I think we're still waiting for a couple of drivers.
No, all of them come across, and that there are the results. Andy, take it away.
Christopher Herbenew there taking the race win with 3.6 seconds in hand over Max Bartolola in second. Patrick Colo is your third place and your last podium position. Thiago Marto, usually see him in third there, back in fourth. Giuseppe Faro, Max Cicchino, Teles, Braun, Luca Verani and Maruk round out your top 10. Jeremy Laney, Alistair Hay, Adam Talsma, Stuart Milne, Christopher Amon and Marcelo De Laurentiis, Fabio Viola, Ryan Berry head up your top 18. Martin Devine, Patrick Rollins, Marcel Kessler, Nicky Fassi, Peachy Ioto, Noel Richie Robertson, Keelan Richie Robertson, Victor Barras, Manuel Vargas, Matthew Gracie, Ron Kolak, Reed Dennis round out your top 30. Ridgeway, Sarah Multifola in 32nd, Andrea Bacchetti, Philip Lucas, Clark Williams, James Thulis, Richard Van Veen, it's no van there, Zomotov, Vincenzo Morini, Andrea Corello, Rodriguez Duran, Caleb Patrice, Simon Fessy and Roberto Drew round out your top 44 drivers. Austin.
Yeah, I did it again.
You muted yourself, didn't you?
Yes, I did, to let you talk. I'm being the respectful co-commentator. The thing is, I keep forgetting to hit the button back on.
Oh.
It's such an simple task. Anyway, next week we head over to Virginia on our American tour of 2 weeks. And the Virginia International Raceway VIR will be taking center stage next week for the iGPFun Formula 3 Series presented by 3DWrap.it. All your custom sim racing needs, head over to 3DWrap.it for the iGPFun Formula 3 Series. From Sebring, I've been joined by Andy Thompson with Mark Tranter in the production booth, and I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers, including Peter Berryman, John Robertson, Brandon Trano, and IndyCar World Champion Alex Palou. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.